Hi, Charlie.
Hey man, sorry about that. The other interview was still going on, so I couldn't jump.
That's okay. Do you want me to call you back?
No, I'm all good. I'm all good.
Oh, awesome, awesome. Okay. Well, thank you very much for that, Charlie. Look, I was a little bit early as well. I was like a minute or two early, so thank you.
No worries, no worries.
All right, cool. Well, let's crack on because I know you got a busy day ahead of you. So, I'm Ian from Hi-Fi Way in Australia. We're obviously having a chat about you coming over here in a couple of weeks. Yeah, 2 weeks. So let's crack on, man. How have you been? How's life been?
But everything's been really good. I mean, I just got home from this 3-week Canadian run. It was like us, Megadeth, and Exodus doing a run across Canada, which was very good. The weather was fucking shit, but the fans were, the crowds were great.
Well, you're going to get the complete balance opposite now, aren't you? Now you're going to come to Australia where the weather will be really good.
I'm good with that.
It was interesting actually that you're touring with Megadeth and Exodus and yourself. I mean, you guys have that's quite a history there. There's like 120 years worth of combined musical history. Like, when you on stage looking around going, wow?
I mean, I've known both bands for so long, and it's I don't know, man. To me, it was just like the next day kind of thing. You know what I mean? If you don't talk to somebody for a while and you see them, it's just kind of like, "What's up, bro?"
Yeah.
I mean, I know some of the some of the guys in Megadeth are new, you know, but I kind of knew the drummer Dirk for a bit, and I knew the bass player uh, James from uh, back in the day as well.
Yeah. And then we come over here in a couple of weeks, and you're going to be touring with a band from New Zealand called Alien Weaponry. What do you know about those guys?
And they played with us before in Europe.
Ah, nice, nice. They're such good kids, aren't they? They're just so in tune with who they are as people and what their heritage is, and then just really nice kids as well. I found when I've met them.
Yeah, good musicians too.
Yeah, yeah. Um, so I have to ask the question. I'm going to be quite direct about it. There's two things that came out when I was doing my research, and one took me quite some while to find. Um, there hasn't been an album since 2016, and you've not headlined Australia since 2005. That was the one that took me a while to find. Why 21 years? What's happened?
I don't know. I mean, I think what happened was we would get offered to play these festivals, and a lot of times you couldn't do your own headlining shows if it was around the festivals because promoters don't don't want to take away from the festival. So I think we got caught up in all that festival type of stuff, and I mean, I was there a couple of years ago with Pantera,
Mm-hmm.
but and I remember fans were asking me when is Anthrax coming back, and all I could say is hopefully soon, But see, the thing is, our record was supposed to come out like in the next month or two, but it's not coming out. We pushed it back, so that had a lot to do with it as well.
Yeah, yeah. So you just mentioned there about the record. The last I heard was May. Is it still going to be May or is
No,
okay?
no, it's definitely not in May. It's coming out in September, but we will have a song out and a video this May.
Okay, nice. Considering it's still a couple of months away, in terms of the set list that fans can expect, will it be more of? I'm guessing it won't be any new stuff. It will be the history of Anthrax.
Yeah, but man, we're toying with the idea of playing something new. It's like some people feel yeah, some people are like no, let's wait. But I don't know, man. Let's see. I would love to just burst into something, without even saying anything and just kind of do it, you know?
I'm with you on that one, Charlie. I think it would be a really, really nice, pleasant surprise if you're out there and you're doing all these classics and then all of a sudden, bang, something new comes out. I just think that the kids over here, they'll lose their minds because they've not heard it. And it'd be like, fucking, finally. That's my two pence worth.
That's my kind of sentiment too. So, I'll talk to everybody again, and it basically comes down to Joey, our singer. He's, yeah,
He's a singer.
Yeah.
What did he call it? It's a LSD, lead singer syndrome. Yeah. Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. Joey's great. It's just that for him to really learn something new, it just takes a lot out of him. And I don't know if he's prepared for that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, well.
So we'll see.
So, I mean, is there anything you can actually? I'm not. I know you get asked this question an awful lot, so I do apologise that it's happening. But is there anything you can tell us about the new album other than the single in May?
Well, I was told not to talk about the album on this.
All right, don't then.
On these calls because it's about the tour. But because we haven't announced anything, a name or whatever, I can tell you that it's definitely a progression from the last few records. It definitely sounds like Anthrax, but it's definitely turned it up a notch because there's some songs on this record that, for me personally, I don't know if I could have written them, 10, 15 years ago. There's something that happened, and I had this burst of creativity, and I love when that happens. And all the other guys were very, very happy with the stuff. And Scott feels like one of these songs is like one of the best songs that Anthrax have ever had. So, and I agree with them too. But there's a lot of moments like that on the record where a song ends and then the next one comes on, and it's like, holy shit, this one's better than the last one. So it's a lot of that, I just don't know how. See, we love it, but we're so close to it, and it's only until other people hear it that you can get, oh, okay, now you hear what we were hearing. Like, two people I know who have heard it, they were just like, bro, I was just fucking floored. Like, it just kind of like, I can't believe at this stage of the game in your career that you're coming up with this type of stuff. So that made me so happy to hear.
Yeah,
because I pushed myself so hard to be better than we were. You know what I mean? And I don't see a lot of that in music these days. I don't see people pushing themselves anymore. And I think that's why it's I don't know, it's just a stagnant scene. Nothing is really pushing the envelope anymore.
Do you think some of that not pushing the envelope is because of the way the music industry is now? Because it's not like, say 30 years ago, 40 years ago, where it was, you might hear a single and then the album drops. That's the first time you hear it. Now everything's just online and streamed and is here 1 minute, gone the next. That people just go, well, we'll go for something safe. That wins.
It's like, for me, this is going back into like maybe the 90s, late 90s, when bands started to just give away records and music was starting to become disposable. And I felt like you're devaluing music by doing this. The whole streaming thing, it killed our business, okay? People don't talk about that too much, how much of the art was destroyed because of that. No one came to save our business. Nobody did. They just, we're getting all this shit for free now. I never agreed with it. I think streaming is shit. I think real metal fans, real hard rock fans will go and support the band and buy the fucking vinyl, buy the, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because they love this, and I'm the same way. If a band comes out with a record, I don't fucking, you know, I go buy it.
Same.
And I'll put it on my iTunes or whatever the fuck you call it these days. But I'm totally against streaming. I don't give a fuck who you are.
I'm exactly the same as you. As you were talking that, I was just looking at my CD collection going, fuck man, I've spent a lot of money. But that, for me, that's my, but at the same time, that's my artwork. Like, so I might not have a fancy painting on the wall, but I can go and have a look at my CD collection and go, yeah, that's fucking impressive. Like, that makes sense?
He was just talking about the artwork for this record. And, you know, when a record comes out, there's no logo on the cover. It's just a piece of art. There'll be a sticker that goes on, you know, the package, but there's the name Anthrax doesn't appear because I didn't want it to obstruct any of the artwork on this cover, because to me it's a piece of art and it's beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah, nice. We will look. I appreciate you actually telling me stuff about the album there when you said you weren't meant to. So we will bring it back to the tour. Okay. So you've been to Australia a couple of times, as you mentioned. You were here a few years ago with Pantera at Knotfest. What are some of your favourite memories of touring Australia?
I mean, for the first time, I had a day off in Sydney, and you know, this is with Pantera though, and you know, Ross Halfin took us out for like a photo shoot, and we got to see certain parts, you know, and it was beautiful. It's just a beautiful country, and to me, it reminds me of the West Coast for us, you know. But there's just aspects of it that are just so similar to the U.S. The only difference is there's no Americans there. And God, I hate to sound like a dick, but sometimes that's a great thing.
I'm glad you said it.
Oh man, I you know, it's like I'm not very happy with. I love my country, but I'm not sure about it. What's going on? So, it worries me. Week by week, it just gets even weirder. So, so for me to come down to Australia and enjoy the people there, enjoy the crowd, enjoy the weather, it's a different thing. Although it takes a fucking shitload of time to get there, but you know, it's like I said, I just love the people.
Yeah, no, my we were talking about that day off you had in Sydney. A mate of mine bumped into you at the Opera House, and he got a photo with you, and he put it in it gets even funnier because he puts it in the group chat and he goes, I met the drummer from Anthrax and he was with some woman and he had no idea who your wife was, and we were like, oh my god, like Jesus, like you're supposed to be a metal fan, how do you not know? It was.
Yeah. No, I think that was my daughter. She was down there with me.
Oh, okay.
At the top. Yeah.
All right. So one other thing I did want to talk about was I've been reading. I read a book recently that was talking about the rock and metal scene in the 80s in America, and it went to New York, and I think it was Scotty Hill from Skid Row, who I know they're New Jersey, but he said he felt that it was difficult to create a scene in New York like there was in LA, where you had the Sunset Strip as an example. But then I went through all the bands that came out in the 80s, like yourselves, and I'm like, is that true? Because it just seems that it was such a vibrant musical place.
Well, I'll tell you this much. Before Skid Row, I mean, for us, we grew up in the city in New York. You know what I mean? We were New Yorkers. Skid Row is New Jersey, but in New York, dude, there was no real scene at all. Okay, so for a metal band coming out of New York, there was nobody else. The only bands that we can reference before us was the Ramones, Kiss, Blondie. You know, there was such a scene for that stuff. Not Kiss, but Kiss were on its all on their own.
Yeah.
But for us, there was nothing like, let's say, what was going on in San Francisco, nothing that was going on in LA. We had to create something, and then Lemoore was the place that was kind of like, uh, the place where people would go. That's where they'd have shows, and there was a scene. And then before you know it, other bands started to pop out. Some bands like Overkill came up. And Biohazard was another band. So we started to make some noise, and then other people noticed, and then before you know it, there were other bands then, which was great.
Do you think that actually, because of that difficultness, that actually what helped shape Anthrax's sound? Because when we talk about the big four, I always felt that you guys were different from the other three. Like there was always something a little bit more earthy and a little bit more uh, inclusive of other styles that were in there. So do you think it's because of that New York element?
Oh, 100%. 100%. It was like, without even realizing it, our attitudes were coming out in our music. Our lifestyle was coming out in our music. What we enjoyed was coming out in our music. Our personalities were coming out in our music. There was a moment there where people couldn't understand it because we didn't look like these other bands. We weren't gritting our teeth in photos. We were fucking smiling. We were happy. How could we not be happy? We were a band for fucking 2-3 years, and we were getting fame. We were fucking, it was, that's how State of Euphoria came about. We were in a state of euphoria. We were so happy that, we wore it on our sleeves, and people couldn't understand that. They were asking us stupid questions at the time. Why do you wear these shorts? Why do you smile in pictures? It's like, shut the fuck up,
Living a dream. That's what they're fucking doing. Yeah.
Yeah, they were jealous because they weren't living it.
Yeah. So the last time, bringing it back to the tour again, the last time you guys were here was in 2019 as a band. That was on the Slayer tour. There'll be a lot of people who, one, wouldn't have seen Anthrax before, but also, two, certainly wouldn't have seen you do a headline set. It's not 45 minutes. I'm guessing you'd be playing 90 maybe. What can those people expect from an Anthrax show?
We're going to play their favorite songs. We are going to bring our personalities. We just want everybody to have a great time and just walk out going, that was fucking rad, man. I enjoyed them so much, that kind of thing. And just be a part of it,
Yeah. Very nice. Very nice. You got the 4 shows here. What's the plan after Australia?
So we go right to Japan, and then the European festivals start in the summer.
Just keeps going, doesn't it?
It keeps going.
It keeps going and going. I did read every bit of research I did on you specifically kept bringing up a fascination with Jaws. Is that true?
Of course, I'm wearing a Jaws shirt right now as we speak.
It is a great film. It scared me for many, many years as a kid. And you know what? Still kind of does. When you go into the sea, you think, I'm not too sure about this. What was it about Jaws that has just infected your life?
It was a time when I was younger, and it made such an impression on me that, I've always been a horror movie kid since I was very little, and for that movie to come out at that time, it really fucked with my head because I couldn't go in the water anymore because of it, because I didn't know what was underneath me, and there was always that fear of that shark coming up and swallowing me, It still does. Like if we're out somewhere and we all go on like jet skis or something, I still have that fear.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Even if you're in a lake, you're like, I don't know what the fuck's in here. Yeah. So when you watch other shark films, like I'm a big horror movie fan, and for me, the the greatest horror movie is still Halloween. But then, and I think the greatest shark movie is Jaws. When you go and watch other shark movies after that, are you always comparing it to Jaws, or do you think they're all shit, or have there actually been any good ones since then?
There was one. Was it Deep Blue Sea or something?
Yeah,
That was
that's
one,
Samuel L. Jackson.
but the sharks were all kind of CGI'd, and um, the beauty of Jaws was it was a practical effect. Even though it didn't work as well as they wanted to, it worked just enough to make that movie fuck with us all. That's how good it was. So I can't. For me, it's like, please don't ever think about remaking Jaws. Please don't ever think about, although they are now, remaking the Exorcist, which is just, to me, it's a waste of time. You'll never, ever touch that movie, ever. You just can't do it.
So I think the same about I say a horror movie fan. Like if I'm watching a new Predators as an example, it's all CGI. Whereas that original Predator, it was because you couldn't see it for a lot of the film.
Yeah,
That's what made it scary.
I agree with you.
Yeah, and
That's the beauty of Jaws. Because the shark didn't work so much, he chose not to let you see it, and so your fucking imagination went and really added to that fear. We all have that fear of the water. It's something that nobody wants to drown, but 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 more or less nobody wants to be eaten
yeah,
either.
I don't want to lose a leg. Yeah, I'm all right with that. Thanks. So, fuck. All right. Look, I know you got a lot on. Is there anything else that you want to add for your Australian fans before we depart?
No, we're just very excited. We're very excited to come down and do this, and like I said, just have a great time with everybody.
Excellent. Well, I'm in Adelaide, so I think I'll be at the show in Melbourne actually. So I'll see you when you get down here. Thank you very much for taking the time out. You have a little bit of time before your next interview, and we'll see you in a couple of weeks.
Bye, bro. Thank you.
Thanks, Charlie. Take care.